My name is Richard Hale, and I'm 73 years old. What I'm about to tell you may make you uncomfortable. It might even upset you. But I need you to hear it anyway, because almost everything you've been taught about aging, success, and having time is wrong. The most disturbing part is this. The people who were supposed to prepare you for this truth, parents, teachers, mentors, society itself, either didn't know it or chose not to say it out loud. I didn't know it either, not for most of my life. For the first 5 decades, I believed the same story most people believed. Work hard, climb the ladder, be responsible, delay pleasure. Eventually, everything will fall into place. And from the outside, my life looked exactly like that plan working perfectly. I had a respected career, a comfortable home, financial security, and the approval of people whose opinions I thought mattered. Then, when I was 52, everything collapsed in a single afternoon. I was sitting in a conference room going over revenue forecasts when the room started tilting. My chest tightened. The next thing I remember is waking up under fluorescent lights, machines beeping, plastic tubes taped to my arms, and my wife, Laura, sitting in a chair nearby with tears running down her face. The doctor later told me I'd had what they politely call a cardiac event. In plain English, my heart almost killed me. He smiled and said I was lucky. At the time, that word sounded absurd. Lucky? I had just stared straight at my own death. But lying there, unable to move, stripped of distractions, something unsettling became clear. I hadn't really been living. I had been operating, executing routines, meeting expectations, checking boxes. And the question that terrified me most was simple. If I had died that day, what would I have left behind? A mortgage-free house, a retirement account, titles on business cards, accomplishments that would be mentioned briefly, then forgotten. Nothing that truly reflected a life fully lived. There is a lie most people carry quietly in their heads. You might recognize it. I have time. You tell yourself you'll enjoy life later, when the paycheck is bigger, when the promotion comes through, when the kids are older, when work slows down, when retirement finally arrives. I watched entire generations repeat this script, including myself. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. That moment never arrives. The finish line keeps moving. You get what you wanted, feel satisfied for a short while, then immediately start chasing the next thing. More money, more recognition, more security. You stay busy, you stay distracted, and one day you look up and realize decades have disappeared. I spent 30 years climbing what I thought was the right ladder, only to reach the top and realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. And time doesn't let you climb back down and start over. Here's something rarely said out loud. Success is a poor life objective. I say that as someone who checked all the boxes: partnership, prestige, stability, and none of it delivered lasting fulfillment. Achievement gives you a brief rush, then fades. After that, you're back where you started, hungry again, restless again. A close friend of mine, Michael, learned this too late. He worked relentless hours, built a company worth millions, postponed vacations, postponed rest, postponed family. He always said he'd slow down next year. Next year arrived in the form of a stroke. He died at 68. At his funeral, his son stood up and said, "My father was successful, but I didn't really know him." That sentence should scare you, because when people reach the end of their lives, they don't regret failed deals or missed promotions. They regret the things they never did, the conversations they avoided, the risks they didn't take, the love they didn't express. I don't lose sleep over business mistakes. What keeps me awake are the experiences I postponed, the trip overseas I canceled because work was too busy, the relationship with my brother that I let drift into silence, the book I kept planning to write someday, the evenings I chose the office over my children. Those absences add up. We behave as though time with the people we love is illimited. It isn't. My father died suddenly when I was 45. We had unresolved tension, and I kept telling myself we'd sort it out later, when things slowed down. They never did. He was gone within hours of a heart attack. My regret isn't dramatic. It's painfully ordinary. The calls I didn't make, the Sundays I skipped, the dinners I postponed. After my heart attack, I changed course, not overnight, but deliberately. I reduced my workload. I stopped saying yes to things that didn't matter. I started saying yes to things I had delayed for decades. In the last 21 years, I've learned more about life than in the previous 52. What matters is not complicated. Time with people you love, work that feels meaningful to you, not impressive to others, experiences over possessions, presence over productivity. I know this sounds obvious. I would have dismissed it at 30. I had responsibilities, bills, pressure. And I'm not suggesting you abandon reality. I'm saying don't trade what matters most for things that won't matter at all in the end. Ask yourself this, honestly. If your life ended tomorrow, would you feel satisfied with how you've lived so far? Not impressed, not admired, satisfied. If the answer is no, what are you waiting for? I wake up every morning aware that my time is borrowed. We all are, but most people don't realize it yet. They feel invincible, permanent, immune to loss. I have 3 grandchildren now. When I watch them, I see the same anxiety and pressure I see everywhere, chasing status, chasing validation, chasing outcomes that won't bring peace. I try to tell them what I've learned, but experience can't be transferred easily. Most people only understand after the storm has passed. That's why I'm sharing it now, because maybe someone will hear it early enough to choose differently. You are closer to the end than you think. So are the people you love. Parents age quickly. Relationships change. Nothing is guaranteed. So what will you do? Keep delaying that call? Keep postponing the trip? Keep telling yourself later? Or will you start living today as if your time actually matters, because it does? If I could speak to my younger self, I would say this: stop trying to impress people who won't be there at the end. Stop sacrificing your health for titles. Stop postponing joy. Call your parents more. Take the trips. Say no to draining obligations. Say yes to what makes you feel alive. And don't wait for permission. There will never be a perfect moment. Life will always be inconvenient. If you wait for the right time, you'll wait forever. I don't know how many years I have left. Maybe 10, maybe less. And that's okay. These final decades have been the most meaningful of my life, not because of money or success, but because I finally started living intentionally. I'm happier now with less time ahead than I was when I thought I had forever. That's the paradox. Once you understand time is limited, you stop wasting it. The choice is yours. Keep running the same race, or wake up and start living now. You don't want to reach my age wishing you had made braver choices. Don't spend 52 years learning what you can learn today. Someday is not coming. Someday is now. The clock is moving. What are you going to do with your time?